Seven students from a school in Mumbai went to the Powai Lake to hang out last month. Once they reached there, 6 of them ganged up against the 14-year-old boy and forced him to strip naked and dance to music. It didn't end there. They then inserted a wooden stick in his private parts. It's hard to imagine what the young boy went through, but here's how this incident is not just an incident of ragging, but is much, much worse, because all of this was recorded on a mobile phone and then uploaded on a website for any number of people to view. One of the people who saw this video was a class 10 student of the same school, and this is how they tracked down the accused, 5 of whom have been sent to a remand home, and the 6th one is 19, and so he's in jail. But this story of uploading ugly content is not just something that kids are doing. What about the anti-Muslim hate ads posted on 99acres.com, and then what of the violent videos circulating online during the Muzaffar riots? So that's what we discuss on the social network today. Kids, grown-ups in abusive uploads. You can tweet us live at TSN on NDTV. And let's quickly introduce our panelists for the day. We've got Meera Kaur Patel, who is the legal head of SAVE, which is basically an anti-ragging organization, works on anti-ragging. We've got Nikhil, who is founder of Medianama. And we've also got with us Rakshit Tandon, who is a cybersecurity expert, and he works on sensitizing kids against all of the abuse and the hate stuff that exists online. Nikhil, and I want to bring you in on this. What's interesting about this particular case is that another young student of that school actually found that video. You probably would have seen it on any of those video sharing sites and went and complained to the teacher, who then brought it to the notice of the principal, which actually is interesting because it brings in 2 different types of places online where you can actually put stuff. One, of course, is places like NDTV.com, where we vet everything that goes on online. And the other is places where you can simply post anything and get away with so much.
So think about it this way: if it hadn't been posted and the student hadn't seen it, it might not have been reported. So there is the other side of the same issue, that if it's published by any user anonymously, or even by a known user, it helps identify a case which might have gone unreported. There's a difference between media platforms where everything is moderated and controlled, and sites like YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, where anonymous users also upload content. The important part here is that there is the bad side of anonymity, where you have malicious comments and comments all over the place. But there is also the good side of it, where people who might not feel comfortable, for example, the LGBT community, about coming out and speaking about issues, anonymously they can discuss these things.
So you're saying anonymity is really important and that shouldn't be done away with. But Nikhil, I just want to ask you something. Last week we saw that whole controversy around the 99acres.com and that private ad which basically said no Muslims allowed, etc. So there is of course this, this grey area surrounding the fact that how do you actually, can you really hold the intermediary or the website that's actually hosting some of this abusive content on a crowdsourcing website? Can you actually hold them responsible for the kind of content that comes on there?
So before 2008, India did hold them responsible, which is why Avnish Bajaj had to go to jail, even though there was a user was trying to sell pornographic content on Bazi.com at that point in time. After that, because Avnish did nothing wrong, it's just the platform that was used. So after that, the new IT law has actually taken this into account and introduced a safe harbor which allows websites to be absolved of any liability if they don't knowingly allow that content, which means you can post content, but it needs to be reported and then it will be removed. This reporting mechanism is a global approach. For copyright violation in the US, you have the DMCA Act, which actually deals with this. It's important because you also have to protect free speech. If everything is moderated, then many things won't get reported or said.